Hey guys, I'm AJ.
I'm Shanique.
I'm Tazi.
So in 2018, we quit our jobs to travel the world and live a freedom lifestyle.
We wanted to share our journey with you.
So welcome to the family.
Hey family, welcome back to another video. It's Shanique here from FroFamilyTravels, and today we're going to talk about what actually is a digital nomad. So I'm going to break it down into two parts. So firstly, a nomad is someone, usually a group of people who like to wander. They have no permanent abode, so no permanent address, but they wander from place to place. And then we're going to kind of add to that the digital aspects, which brings it right up to modern day. So it's still someone who doesn't really have a permanent abode or anywhere permanent to live, but they work online, and so that allows them to be location independent. And so technically we do kind of class ourselves as digital nomads because we're still finding our place in this world, I guess, whatever that means. We're still searching, and not to say that we're lost, but we're just wandering. We're just testing out different countries, seeing what we like. I feel like as people, as melanated people in particular, we were the first to search the world, to travel to all the different countries. How many countries are there? 197 countries in the world. I feel like you can find our presence in almost every single country in the world, and that's because we wandered naturally. So I feel like this has kind of always been within us, and it's one of the reasons why we chose this lifestyle. A lot of people sometimes ask why we decided to be nomadic rather than be an expat and just pick one country to live. The thing about being an expat is, like I said, if you've got 196, 97 countries to choose from, how do you choose this one country without visiting at least a handful of them? It's too hard to pick one place that you've never been to before. And that's one of the things that I really like about being a nomad, is you get to test out different places. You get to see what works. You get to see what you like and what you don't like. I think when people go on holiday and they go to different places, it's the idea of living there is often romanticized. You think, oh my gosh, I'd love to live in this place. But the realities of the day-to-day needs, requirements, depending on what you need in order to suit your lifestyle, are rarely ever shown on a holiday. You need to live in that place for a decent amount of time, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to slow travel. So we're slow traveling nomads, which means that we usually spend at least 1 to 3 months, now a little bit longer, in different countries, whereas some nomads literally can do a week in a country and move on to other places. We've done that a few times. I think we've done it like 2 times. We spent like 4 days in Costa Rica, and we spent about 3 or 4 days in Singapore. But apart from that, majority of our stays, we've done 14 countries over the last 4 years, and for the most part we have spent at least 1 to 3 months, sometimes 6 months in each country. And I feel like that length of time is long enough for us to get a feel as to whether this is a country that we could potentially live in. Because yes, ideally we do probably want to have a base. People often ask if we're going back to the UK when this phase of our life will be over. It won't. We want to continue to wander, but yeah, it'd be nice to have a home base somewhere. And the best way for us to choose that base is to test out different countries. We've done 14 countries now, and I think we can safely say we probably know which countries we would chill in for maybe a few years and which we definitely wouldn't. But we would never have known if we didn't spend that extended amount of time in a country. So if you're trying to decide on one particular country, You don't have to be a full-blown nomad, but maybe I would suggest visiting the country first, spending at least 1 month in a country before deciding to commit to that one place. So what do you need to become a digital nomad? Well, this kind of depends on the lifestyle that you want. I would say that's the first thing. Determine the lifestyle that you want to have. Do you want to just lie on a beach all day, or do you want to be in a city center? There is no one size fits all. So you have to decide, what kind of traveler are you? What kind of experience do you want to have? Because this is going to have a huge impact on the budget that you will need. And then you need to do some research into how much that lifestyle is going to cost you. Because we live in Mexico right now, but Mexico is a huge country, and the cost of living here in Playa del Carmen, where we are, is completely different to, say, the cost of living in Cabo, for example. So it's much, much more expensive in Cabo. So it really depends on what you're looking for, what you want to get out of your experience, and then you need to make sure that you can afford it. So how are you going to finance said lifestyle? Do you have savings put up already? Do you have income? You have a home that you can sell and you can live off that? Are you making online income? That is how majority of digital nomads do actually make their cost of living. They work online. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of people tend to think that digital nomads are super rich and have tons of money in order to live this lifestyle. Actually, no. Many nomads actually live on a below kind of national wage for their home country. So say like in the UK, we might say the average salary is between 20 and 30,000. Most digital nomads don't even really earn that much, but the difference is they tend to live in countries where the cost of living is quite low. And so it means that if you can earn in pounds and dollars, then your money is more likely to stretch quite far. And so even if you only earn £1,000 a month, there are a number of countries you can live quite comfortably on that. So why might people choose to become a digital nomad? I think a lot of people decide to become digital nomads because it potentially does offer a better work-life balance than the traditional 9-to-5. You know, when most nomads are self-employed or they work remotely, and as long as they can get their work done, they don't necessarily have set hours. So if you have that and you have spare time on your hands, you're not having to commute. When I was working in education, I used to spend 3 hours a day commuting. Imagine gaining all of that time back. So you are more in control of your time. You don't, if you're your own boss, you don't have to answer to anyone. It's the flexibility, I think, is the main reason to decide how you want to spend your time. We're self-employed, so today if I decide I don't want to work, I don't have to work. It's as simple as that. Whereas for those in a traditional 9-to-5, Monday morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you got to get up and go to work. So you're not in control of your time. Your boss tells you when you have to be at work, when you have to take a holiday, and because you're contracted, you have to adhere to those terms. Whereas being self-employed, I can make kind of those decisions for myself. The downside to that potentially is that I don't get the same benefits. I don't get holidays, I don't get sick pay. And you have to think about that quite carefully about how you're going to manage those things. So that is basically it when it comes to kind of getting started. There are obviously more things like making sure you have health insurance or travel insurance with emergency health is usually the minimum, I would say. But yeah, making sure you've thought about how you're going to look after your health. If you have children, you need to consider maybe how you're going to educate them. Developing friendships, you have to make sure that you're very intentional about developing friendships, because it can get quite lonely if you're not very intentional and go out of your way. If you don't have your friends from home, you can only speak to them via Zoom or WhatsApp. So you have to be very intentional about making friendship groups, but it can be a great way to find new community, new friends. We've made some amazing friends over the last 4 years, I would say as well. But it's cool, we like it, we really enjoy it. I have absolute zero regrets about choosing to live this lifestyle. Would I do things differently? The only thing for me, I would say, is when we took the leap, we had a certain amount of savings. We didn't actually have any online income sorted before we started traveling, and I highly recommend that. So I don't suggest that you go the route that we did. But it's a wonderful way to see the world. It's a fantastic experience, but just try to be prepared as possible. But if you're really thinking about where you want to live, being a nomad first is often a good way to do it and test out different countries. What other questions do you have about being a digital nomad? Let me know below and maybe we can answer them. And for the future, I would say keep following us on Instagram. That's where we spend most of our time, and we keep you up to date on everything that we're doing. And make sure you subscribe to our newsletter as well, where I send out weekly updates as well to let you know what we've been up to and what's new in our life. So I look forward to connecting you somewhere on the internet, family, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.